This lesson discusses comparing data. Number 1, the test scores of the students in 4 classes are summarized below. Answer the questions about them. Class A, the mean score is 115 and the range of scores is 31. Class B, the mean score is 114 and the range of scores is 36. Class C, the mean score is 113 and the range of scores is 34. Class D, the mean score is 108 and the range of scores is 33. Based on the information above, which class has the lowest scores on average? Well, the lowest scores would be the ones that had the lowest mean. If they have a very low mean, then they have very low scores. So the lowest scores here for the mean was class D. It had 108. So they would have the lowest scores. And the next one wants to know, based on the information above, which class's scores had the most variability? The word variability means how much the numbers vary or how diverse they are. There are different measures of variability. You could use the range, the interquartile range, the variance, or the standard deviation. All they gave us for variability was the range. So they want to know which one has the most variability or the greatest one. That's the one with the greatest number. And that's class B. They had a range of 36. That's the biggest number of the 4. So class B. Number 2. Tony and Charlie want to find the mean time students in their class spent watching TV last week. So they each randomly select students in their class and ask for the times. The results are shown below in hours. Use the data to answer the questions. Tony's sample, 13, 15, 7, 16, 9, 5, 14, 17. There's 8 numbers there. So Tony's sample is 8. He asked 8 different kids. And then Charlie's sample are the numbers 20, 18, 17, and 14. So he sampled 4 people, or he talked to 4 people about how much TV they saw last week. So suppose you had to choose one sample to estimate the mean. Which sample is more likely to give a good estimate of the mean? Well, that would be Tony's sample because he asked more people. The larger the sample you have, the better the results, or the closer that you'll get to the actual answer. So that's why it's a larger sample. A good example of that is rolling dice. The odds of getting like the number 1 on a die of 1 through 6 is 1 out of 6. And if you do like 10 rolls of the dice, it's not going to be 1 out of 6. But if you do 100 or 1,000 or 200,000, you'll get closer and closer to that exact number of 1 out of 6. Likewise, the COVID samples right now, they can't decide which treatment's the best or which one really works because they have such a small sample size. So hopefully they'll get some answers here on which thing works the best in case it comes back in the fall on us, so we'll know how to treat things and we can stay up, in school and keep on rolling. On the back. As part of the interview process, an employment agency tests the client's typing speed. The stem and leaf display below shows the results for the most recent clients, 17 of whom received a job offer and 18 of whom did not. Answer the questions that follow. All right, so they have a key down below it. On the left, 34, 3, and then 4. So if you stay with that pattern, we have 41, 45, 45, 46. I wrote them out here. And then 50, 50, 54, 54. And then over here on the right, you got 31. 31, 31, so 37, 39, 40, 42, 45, 45. So I wrote some of them out for you. You don't need to do that. I just did it so you can understand the numbers. It's a list of numbers that they wrote in a different way as a stem and leaf plot. First question, what are the ranges of typing speeds for the 2 groups? So remember the range is the max minus the min, or the highest number minus the lowest number. So the people that got an offer over here, the maximum number is 67. The minimum number is 34. So they had a range of 33. No offer, the biggest number is 69, and the lowest number is 31. So they had a range of 38. Letter B, which group had the higher median typing speed? Remember that median is the number in the middle when you list them least to greatest, and they kind of are listed already least to greatest. So we need to find the number in the middle. So the ones that had an offer, there were, let me see, so 17 of whom got an offer. So 17 got an offer. So split that in half, and it's odd, so that's going to have an exact number in the middle. So we're going to go 8 above and 8 below. Half of 17 almost is kind of 8. So the number 5 is right in the middle, and then there's 8 numbers and behind it, you could say 8 numbers in front of it. And the other one that did not get an offer, there are 18 of those, and it's even, so there's not one specific number in the middle. There's going to be 2 numbers in the middle. Half of 18 is 9, so if you count 9 numbers in from both the beginning and from the end, you get the number 47 and 49. And so when you have 2 numbers in the middle like this, again, what you do is you add them up and divide by 2. So 47 plus 49 divided by 2 would be 48. 8's between 7 and 9. So that one's 48. So the higher number is 55. Which group had more typing speeds in the 40s? Well, this one here had 40, 42, 45, so on. The one that had no offer has 4 numbers, 41, 45, 45, 46. So offer 4, no offer 7. So more of them would be the no offer at 7. Number 4. It says the following are the distances in miles to the nearest airport for 12 families. Again, that's even. So you're going to have 2 numbers in the middle for the median. So you're going to have to add them up and divide by 2. If it was odd, you'd have 1 exact number in the middle. So looking at it and finding the 5-number summary, the minimum, the number, the smallest number is 9. The maximum number, the biggest number is 43. Then the median, the number in the middle, there's no exact number in the middle. There's the number 26 and 30, so what you have to do is to add them up, divide by 2, and you get 28. So the median is 28. All right, so this is a new word for you. The lower quartile, which they also call Quartile One, is the median of the first half of the numbers. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers in the middle. So again, that's an even number. So you're not going to have 1 exact number in the middle. You have 2 numbers in the middle, 12 and 20. So you have to add them together and divide by 2, which gives you that the median of the first half of 16 are the first quartile. So the median of the second half of numbers, taking the 2 numbers in the middle again, because there's an even amount here of 6 on the other side too. So 35 and 35 divided by 2, of course, is still 35. So the upper quartile is 35. All right, so using your calculator, if you wanted to use the calculator to find it and not do it by hand like we just did, again, turn it on. And then you go and you push stat, hit enter, because we're going to edit a list. So we're going to put them in list 1. Go to the top and hit clear. Go down. It clears out your list. And now we're good to go. So now we're going to put the numbers in. 9, 12, 12, 20, 25, 26, 30, 34, 35, 35, 40, 43. And it's a good idea to take your time and look at it, make sure the numbers were entered correctly. Hopefully I just did. So we'll see. So we go back and hit stat, calculate. 1 variable stats is the first choice, enter. And this needs to say list 1 on it. And then you go down, click enter on calculate. It gives us the mean, 26.75. The sum of all the numbers added up, if you add them all up, it's 321. If you add up all the numbers squared, so if you did 9 squared plus 12 squared plus 12 squared plus 20 squared and so on, it adds up to 10,025. The standard deviation is 11.4. The population deviation is 10.9. There's 12 numbers on our list, which there were. They told us there's 12. Use your arrow, go down. Now you got everything else. The minimum's 9. Quartile 1 is 16. Let me see, did we get that? Yep, 16. And then the median is 28. That's what we said. Quartile 3 is 35. And then the max is 43. So it's all the same numbers that we just got when we worked them out by hand. All right, then we got, yes, this one's next. All right, it says, here are the scores of 16 students on a science test, and they gave us a list of numbers. Notice that the scores are ordered least to greatest. Make a box and whisker plot for the data. Okay, to make a box and whisker plot, you have to find all the numbers that we just did. They called it on the other page here, they called it the 5-number summary, the minimum, quartile 1, median, quartile 3 maximums. You have to find all 5 of those things. And they listed the numbers for us, least to greatest, again, which was super nice of them. So on your box and whisker plot, the end of the whiskers are the minimum and the max, which were 63 and 94. So put dots on those. And then it's an even amount of numbers again. So the number in the middle here is going to be the average of these two numbers, which are both in 85. So it's still 85. So you make a line for the median. And then finding quartile 1, which again is the median of the first half of the numbers. The two numbers in the middle of the first half are both 74, so quartile 1 is 74. Make a line for that. And then the middle of the numbers for the second half of the information are 90 and 91. So when you do the median of those numbers for the quartile 3, add them up, divide by 2, and you get 90.5. And so I put that there on 90.5 for quartile 3. And so you make a line for quartile 1, a line for the median, a line for quartile 3, put a dot on the max and the min, connect it to make the whiskers, and then you got the box in the middle. Number 6. Oh, by the way, let's do it again here. If we're going to do it on our calculator instead of doing it by hand, again, you're going to go to Stat, Enter, and then go to the top. We're going to clear out our old numbers. All right, so we had 63, 72, 73, 74, you have to hit enter after each one, 81, 82, 85 and 85, 289s, 90, 91, then we got 92, 93, 94. Then you go back to Stat, go over one menu to calculate, hit enter, and again it has to say list 1 because that's the list we just put in. Hit enter on calculate. The mean, which we don't need, is 82.9. We don't need the sum of all the numbers or the standard deviation or the population deviation. There were 16 numbers in the list, true. And then going down, the minimum was 63. We said that. There it is. It's right there. Quartile 1 is 74, which we got. The median is 85, which I said. And go down a little more. Quartile 3, which I told you was 90.5, and the max is 94. Question 6. Two athletes are training for a cycling race. Each athlete recorded the distance in miles of their previous 55 training runs. The box and whisker plots below summarize the distances recorded for each athlete. Use the box and whisker plots to answer the questions. Okay, wanted to know which athlete had distances with the largest interquartile range. The interquartile range is quarter 3 minus quarter 1. So I did it over here for athlete A. His interquartile range, quarter 3 was 27, quartile 1 was 13. You can see right here. Remember, quartile 3 is the far right end of the box, and then quartile 1 is to the left. So quartile 3 was 27, and then quartile 1 over here was 13. So their interquartile range between quarter 3 and quartile 1 is 14. And then for athlete B, again, here's quartile 3. It's on the left. Quartile 1's over here. Well, that's on the left. This is on the right. So quartile 3 is at 22, and then quartile 1 over here is at 16. Subtract, you get 6. So which one had the largest? Well, that would be A with 14. Which one had the greater median distance? The median, again, is the one here in the middle of the box. So the median right there for the first one is at 18. The median for athlete B is over here at 20. And so the greatest one is athlete B. Which athlete went on the shortest training run? So the minimum. So who had the smallest minimum? Athlete A had 10 and athlete B had 14. 10 and over here 14. So the minimum, the smallest one, the shortest would have been A. Which athlete had the smaller range of distances? Well, they're talking about the whole range. So the maximum number minus the minimum number, which is different than the interquartile range, was quarter 3 minus quarter 1. So this one was all the way from the max to the min. So athlete A was 33 to 10, over here at 33, all the way down here to 10. So it had a range of 23. Athlete B went from 24 right here all the way down to here at 14. So it had a range of 10. So which one had the smallest? Well, athlete B, it was 10. Now all the questions repeat again on your homework. So good luck. If we want to do one together, if you have more questions, send me an email. We'll work them out. You have a good night.